you want to put yourself in a position to monetize without brand deals, sponsorships, a large audience, digital products, a paid community. They do that. Now, I do remember that I was like, I'm going to give like an example. So look at your paid community. Like, where would you like to go on a flight?
Let's just say I go visit you in LA.
Okay, boom, you're going to LA. Now you got two options. You can go first class or you can go economy.
Yeah.
So economy is how people experience your podcast right now. Right? Spotify, YouTube all day. I can log on whenever. I can listen whenever. That's economy. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
But the first class access, right? That's the paid community.
Right.
What do you get? You might have a full bar menu. You can probably drink, get a pillow, headphones. You get the eye mask. You might meet the captain.
Yeah.
The flight attendant is talking to you different.
Yeah.
You're gonna get on a plane. You're gonna get on a plane first. You're gonna leave the plane first, and you probably might make money because normally people that send first class, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what the paid community is.
What's good, world? I got my guy Brendan Boyd back on the show, the only one that's been on the show twice. The show was so good virtually, he had to come all the way down here to Atlanta, get on the show live in person. And when it comes to talking about monetizing your podcast, I had to bring the expert in here. So welcome back to the show in person.
Yo, bro, this is historic.
Yeah, you're all the way here from LA. You know what I mean?
Yo, where's the wall that I can sign it? You
the
gotta
wall.
have that
Oh, it's
popping.
outside. Yeah,
Okay.
we got that.
Yeah,
we got
gotta
that.
go crazy, for sure.
So what I wanted to bring you back for is podcasts are just growing so fast, right? And then a lot of times people, and I actually had this phone call. They said, Tony, I love your show, right? But I just can't figure out how to get it to pay for it. And I'm just paying all this money on camera equipment and technology. And he was like, should I start charging my guest? So my thing is, what is the sweet spot of how to make money with podcasts?
Bro, that's a great question. And you know, what I first like to do is if you take your phone out right now, pull your phone out.
Okay.
And is your Siri on?
Yep.
All right, so just ask Siri how much do podcasters make?
Hey Siri, how much do podcasters make? It says just under. It's a lot of them. 3 to 5,000 per episode. Big podcasters, 500,000 per month. And then someone even like Logan Paul in the millions for annual income.
So right there, right? Keyword big podcasters.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna see because when I ask Siri, some a little different pop up. Hey Siri, how much money do podcasters make? So on mine, right?
Yeah.
It says typically podcasters are making $0 because they're spending their money on equipment. And some of them even go into the negative.
Dang. And that's what I'm seeing from the phone calls that I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So the thing about it is, I think people have it backwards when it comes about podcasting, right?
Right.
Because they assume that, okay, cool, I'm going to charge the guests.
Yeah.
I need crazy views.
Yeah.
I need Spotify money. I need YouTube money.
Right.
If that's your outlook when it comes to podcast monetization, you're not gonna make any money because if you're a new podcaster, you're not gonna get none of that.
None of it.
Unless you're a celebrity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And podcast content, even though it's very sought after right now, it's not searchable in the way you would think. People are searching for topics. They're not searching for you because they don't know you.
Right.
And since they don't know you, you can't grow unless your show is based on relationships, dating, or have celebrities or some type of known figures. Then you can start to see some traction. Or if you're a celebrity or known figure yourself.
And let's hit a quick pause right there. That's another thing that I think is something definitely to talk about when it comes to podcasts is I feel like podcasts like this, people remember who the guest was because they got value out of them, right?
Yeah.
But then you got other podcasts that, of course, promote a lot of negativity or gossip that get crazy views. But you can't remember who the person was. You just remember the topic.
Yep. Because it's shock value, bro. It's just how the world works. That's why, like, even on social media, where's the intention? It's on cats, it's on dogs, it's on accidents, it's on people making fun of other people.
Right.
It's about people falling. I mean, you remember the crate challenge?
Yeah.
That went crazy.
Yeah,
because people are hurting themselves, right?
Right.
And that's what people care about. They care about the dramatics.
Right.
They care about what's going to spike that dopamine to get that attention.
Right.
That's why even when it comes to like just being positive and family and even money, some aspect of money, it doesn't really get the same type of luster.
Yeah.
Because it's not.
But if it says scam or exposed.
Oh yeah, it's going crazy.
Yeah.
It's going crazy. You know what I'm saying? when it comes down to monetization, I think podcasting needs to focus on two key elements, right?
Yeah.
Number one is you need to have a product with your show. And if you don't have a physical product, you can have a digital product, like an info product, which is super popular to do right now, and which all podcasters need to have. The second thing they need to have is you need to have a paid community, because there's some aspect of your audience that want more. And if you don't have that, you can't monetize. And it's a great way for you to monetize as a podcaster because, bro, my Tesla is free.
Yeah.
Insurance and a lease off 10 people on my podcast.
Dang.
10. Not 1,000 views.
Yeah.
Not 10,000 views. 10 people.
Dang.
Off a paid community, pay for the lease. So I'm telling you right now, if you're a podcaster, right, and you got a rent, you got a car, maybe you even got child support, right?
Yeah.
You could create a paid community, right? Charge someone and charge your the viewers that want access, because it's not for everyone. It's for those that want the access, right?
Right.
And I'll give you another example to kind of bring it all together. But if it's $49 a month, you get 20 people in there. That's basically $1,000.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So off of 20 people, now your podcast has a trajectory of making $12,000 in a year.
Right.
You know how many podcasters make $12,000 in a year?
Not many.
Less than 10%.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So you can do this if you just focus on capturing one listener at a time, but you have to have the offer. Now, if you're just doing a podcast and you're hoping, right, for the brand deal, hoping for the sponsorship, hoping for the crazy views, that's why podcasters end up in podcast purgatory. They don't make shows after episode 7 or 15. They
You
just
said
die
that
out.
on the last one too. So let's talk about podcast purgatory.
Yeah.
You see a lot of podcasts that
They in there,
come
bro.
out.
Yeah.
They buy the equipment, they do everything, do one show. And what is it? Is it just too much work?
So what happens is people get excited about the show. Oh man, podcast is popping right now. Everyone wants a podcast.
Right.
So they get excited, like, yo, we're gonna do this podcast and it's gonna be me and my friend and we're gonna be talking about XYZ. So you get excited, right? You do the show, you do one episode, okay, cool. Do another one. Oh, this is spicy. Do another one.
Yeah.
But then it hits you like, yo, this is work and I'm not making no bread and I have to physically drive here. I gotta haul this equipment or whatever the case may be. My co-host is unreliable. I'm doing all of the work.
Yeah.
And then they end up in a space where they only have 15 episodes.
Right.
They die out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's number one. If you're hoping for the brand deal, sponsorships, and a large audience to monetize Spotify, YouTube, or whatever the case may be, you're going to stop because you're not making money. You're focused on the wrong thing.
Right.
You can't make that type of money as a startup podcaster because the strategy, like that strategy, is for larger audiences.
Right.
That's going to come way longer.
Yeah. So what would you say a strategy is? Because I'm listening to your story, right? And you're like, my Tesla is paid for.
Yeah.
So I would say even for me, like I've got a growing podcast.
Yeah.
I've got good names on it.
You do.
Probably more better than a starting podcast.
Bro, why am I here, bro?
Right.
This tuned in Tony, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But it's like, I have a different strategy, which
Yeah.
is mainly networking, but still like, even in my head, I could be like, how can I have a community? You know what I'm saying? How could I have these things? Like, that's what I'm wondering for someone who started. Like, how do they do that?
Well, listen, I'm gonna give you my play. You know what I'm saying? This is how I was able to make $61,000 in 37 days podcasting.
Yeah.
And this is how you can 100% do it.
Yeah.
And there's obviously, like, you and I break bread, so there's a bunch of different ways. And I want people to understand that podcasting is like real estate. It's super diverse in the ways that you can make revenue. You know what I'm saying? So it's not one way. There's a lot of ways. But what I would do, because you're a funnel king, bro, and you do ads too, right? You know what I'm saying? So what I would do is I would target your dream client to come on the show.
Got you.
Give them a podcast episode.
Yeah.
Have them come on the show. Have them go crazy, right? Like you already do. Big them up, highlight them, talk about their product, talk about their service, how they help people, how they service people.
Right.
Right. Plant a little bit of a seed, right? To pre-frame them. And then when the show's over, right, you've already built the rapport, you edified them, you gave them a value piece already, right? So now you just do a simple transition. So, hey, Brendan, man, like, you was talking about, actually, you had the God on this show, Mike the Businessman, right? Right? So you can say, hey, Mike, listen, you're going crazy with the Toro, you're going crazy with short-term rentals. Have you thought about actually adding a funnel to your piece? Have you thought about, like, running up, your brand awareness through ads? Actually, nah, man, I haven't. Like, I don't even know when to get into that. Well, listen, that's what my team and I do. So we can set up a value call, we can kind of go over. I'll break the whole thing down.
So you're saying basically use the podcast as a networking piece.
Use the podcast as a lead generation asset.
Yeah.
That's super verse.
And I would say just for me too, for anybody watching, where it did work personally for me is like, I've been a very valuable person, I believe, for a long time.
Yeah.
But people didn't see it. But then once you start, and everything is in your offer, right? But once I had a podcast, I started noticing big names that I had never been able to get in contact with wanted to get on the show. And it became the icebreaker that opened up the doors for all of that. So anybody watching, technically what I'm saying is, if you just want to meet new people, get in the rooms, maybe a podcast is a way. And
Tony, let me just reiterate that, bro.
yeah.
The reason why I have multimillionaire friends is because I started a podcast.
Yeah.
I was in Boston. I used to do this creative thing. I used to call like the creative space. So every Friday, I would hold like a space 2 or 3 hours, and people would come. It was like mini masterminds. So people that were entrepreneurs that come through, we would just work, independently but collectively. And I was saying to myself, I'm like, damn, like I need to level up my network. So I need more friends. I need millionaire friends. Like I need those, those connections. I need to have the access. How am I gonna do that, bro? Yeah. Like you can't just be like, yo, listen, millionaire, yo, let me take you to lunch. That ain't working.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So what I did was I created my first podcast, which it wasn't even a podcast. It was just a YouTube show. I was just doing interviews.
Right.
And what I did was I used that and I said, hey, listen, I got this show. I would love to have you on the show.
Right.
And it was no resistance. You know what I'm saying? Then that's why leveraging the podcast as a lead generation show is so valuable. There's no resistance. The only resistance you're gonna get is a scheduling thing. Yeah. So everyone's gonna come on the show. It's just about the scheduling. So once I did that, I'm talking about 8-figure earners, 7-figure earners, multiple 6-figure earners, all different categories on the show, building relationships in my phone, making money together. You know what I'm saying? Building bridges. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So you can 100% do that if you're watching this show, listening to the show. You're like, yo, I need to be around new people. You know, I just want to level up my network. Start a podcast and give your future audience the ability to bring these amazing people on by just giving them, that platform so they could talk about themselves, their business, their products, their service, how they help people. Yeah. That is I don't want to say it's easy, but it's pretty simple.
And then what do you say for the person too who doesn't live in a metro city, right? And I mean, you were the first person that showed me this, but just like, man, I can't get people to come, in person. What about the virtual play? Like,
the easiest thing for you to do, easiest way to get into podcasting, right? Like, if you ever had the opportunity to come into Tune and Tony Studio, you're gonna see monitors, you're gonna see Rodecaster Pros, you're gonna see multiple cameras, lighting. You know what I'm saying? He got cranes coming out the ceiling. It's wild in here. You know what I'm saying? But you don't need none of that to start a show. Right. All you need is software and a laptop. Right. So with software and a laptop, you can connect with people all over the world. Right. Right. And then that virtual podcast is a very underserved leveraging tool that you can use to also run the same play. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's like, like I said, connecting with 6, 7, 8-figure earners, maybe business owners. Maybe it's not about people that are, doing well in business, but maybe it's about people that are in your specific market that you just want to touch or connect with. You can 100% do that. Maybe it's like corporations, like people that are CEOs, chairmen. Maybe it's people that are running nonprofits. It doesn't matter. That platform that you create, they'll come on the show. And a virtual podcast is the easy way to do it.
Yeah, and it doesn't take that much time out of their day because they can commit 30, 45 minutes to an hour from their office. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
they're already having those conversations. How much time do you waste on Instagram or just on the phone talking to your best friend about nothing? Exactly. That's podcast time.
Facts. Yeah, and I think a thing that people miss with podcasts as well is when we talk about monetizing a podcast, they're looking at it, like you said, just on the front end as money. They're not looking at their podcast as traffic. Yeah. That's the biggest thing to me, at least. Facts. But like you said, if it's traffic, where do we lead them? Whether it's an info product or service, whatever. So the question that I'm queuing up is when you're first getting started, is there a balance you have to have of having like an ad for something, or does that take away the quality of the show?
So listen, if you're in a situation like Tony described, and maybe you don't have a product, maybe you don't have a service, maybe you have to get out of your own way of like being salesy or whatever the case may be. Send them to a group. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Have them tap into more free resources. Yeah. And that could be an email list, text message list. One of the best ways that you could capture content and control that audience is send them to a Facebook group. You can go live in that group weekly. But send them somewhere where you can control you're messaging to them in the future, and then that way you can always control the information going to that group, keep them warm. And then when you do come out with a product in the future, you'll already have a tapped in audience that has been waiting for whatever you're going to create. Or if you're doing affiliate marketing, which again, you don't even need a product to run, you could still send that information back to your group. Yeah. So you could grow this group to a couple hundred, couple thousand people, and they all came from that podcast. Right. You know what I'm saying? You could put commercials in your podcast and post video commercials, audio commercials, all sending people to that group. Yeah. That group now becomes very valuable because, as you know, businesses buy businesses because of data. Yeah. Now you're sitting on data, active data, you know what I'm saying? Like almost like an active time bomb, just waiting, you know, ready to buy. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, everyone's a buyer. Everyone's a consumer on some level. And then when you're ready to expose them to a product or service, they're going to buy. A percentage of them are going to move.
Yeah, I mean, what's really smart about the community play, which I'm missing out on, I just had epiphany, like, dang, I should have had that in all my other episodes. Even if I had a free Facebook group, right? Yeah, facts. To where everybody I say that watches it, I say, hey, tap into this free Facebook group so you can get the content first. Facts. Now what I'm doing over time is when I drop an episode, my views instantly jump. You know what I'm saying? Even that play right there, just on the growth trajectory. Imagine, like you said, you got 300 people in there. Yeah. You know, when I drop a podcast now, it may take a week and a half to get to that. But imagine instantly. Now the algorithm is saying, hey, they like this video.
Now just imagine if your offer, what we were talking about, whether it was the ads or whether it was the funnels, you built a huge test group. And now you kind of direct them to make a move, which is going to support your end consumer that purchased that funnel to either purchase a product or just interact with that ad. Yeah. So it works that way as well. So now you're providing more value to, let's say we'll still use Mike as an example. You're providing more value to Mike because you got him on a higher ticket, let's just say, and now you have your control group and you're directing them, hey, I need y'all to make some attention to this. Right. That's gonna make him feel like, damn, this is working. Like like not only did I get the value, like, yo, Tony said I was gonna get some instant success. I just got some. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And it's because you built this community that now you can direct. Right. You can control, you own that community. Got you. Right? And you didn't even monetize them. You just directed them. Now just imagine if you monetize them or whatever product or service you have, and then as a bonus, they still got to go into the community. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Makes sense. And what would you say there's a time limit? Like, would you say at the beginning they should just like get episodes under their belt so they can show like validity? And the reason why I ask is because one time I had heard someone say it's not about the views, right? They're like I might have been you on the last time we heard. Sometimes they just want to see a certain amount of episodes to know that this show actually is real. Yeah. You know, and able to pull in those bigger guests.
Yep. So I got that, right? And you probably did hear that from me. I originally got that from Myron Golden. Yeah. And he was saying that he's someone that supports younger podcasters, like newer podcasters, and he'll come on their show as long as they have 50 episodes. Right. If they have under 50, they're not real. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a starter podcaster, a great way for you to aspire to become like a legitimate podcaster where like people will be like, okay, this is like a real show, is to, get to episode 50, make that one of your first checkpoints to arrive at, because now, people that actually go on podcasts and look to do that, they'll be like, oh, this is a real show because it's been around, like it's proven. Right. That's going to automatically get you out of podcast purgatory. Gotcha. You know what I'm saying? So that's more so for like hosts. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Dope. And then one thing that I saw too, like with just the virtual, and like I said, you put me onto the virtual game. I just did a podcast with you. What are some of the softwares that you use? Because instead of it just being like Zoom, even though Zoom works, like setting up stages and really just like bringing more aesthetic to your virtual.
Yeah, so some of my two favorite right now is definitely StreamYard. I've been rocking with StreamYard for a while, and then Riverside. Okay. Right? Now what's great about Riverside is that if you're someone that's interested in automating your whole booking to the actual show, Riverside has a virtual stage where your link stays the same. Got you. You know what I'm saying? So all they got to do is tap in on that time. So that's the one thing that StreamYard doesn't have, which could be a bottleneck if you're looking to automate the process a little bit more. Right. Because I have both. And I noticed that. So like Riverside, like I could book you through automation, let's say today, and then and let's say our show is a week from now.
Yeah.
I can book you through automation. You go through everything. I don't even got to touch anything.
Yeah.
And you just show up next week at our set time because of Riverside's automation.
Got you.
With StreamYard, it's like brand new link. Because you got to set an individual broadcast.
It's like Zoom versus Webinar Jam or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So would the automation come in too, where it's like you start scaling and then you have all these messages going out just to see who you can get on your show, and that's maybe where the automation would make sense for a podcaster?
So, bro, I messed up on that word too.
Okay.
Let's do it together. Automation.
Oh
no. So I'm gonna tell you how I use it, and I'm gonna tell you how starter podcasters use it. Okay, so if you're a starter podcaster, you may just want to have reminders for your booking, right? So you could set up where you send them a link.
Yeah.
They use that link to book.
Yeah.
Right? Now, on that link to book, now they may get a text confirmation, hey, you're officially booked. Your podcast is for, May 1st.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll get a reminder maybe a week before, and then a day before, and maybe a day of with the link.
Yeah.
And they good to go. You ain't got to hands off.
Yeah.
So how I use it is I send a link. That link has an application.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That application is getting me data, and it has a couple of key questions with helping me to pre-frame it and find out a little bit more about that guest. That information now then goes to the CRM. Now on the back end, I can see their Instagram, all their data. You know what I'm saying? Now the reminders are automatic through text and email, right? And I don't even do those shows. Yeah. So the host will do it. The host will pull that information. They'll do the little background. And then when they get on the show, they'll have all the information they need, you know what I'm saying, to talk about whatever product, service, or story is relevant for the guests at the time that we're recording. Yeah. And then once it's over, they'll get a thank you reminder, and it's like all automated.
Got you. So when you say you don't do the show, right? Because I was on the show, you had a co-host. How is it built? Most podcasts are very like that person, right? What is it like building a podcast that's not attached to a influencer, a person, or you? You know what I'm saying? Because you have multiple hosts, right?
Yeah. That's a great that's a great question. So this is the thing. When you're looking to grow and scale, you have to look at and grow and scale like through duplication. So if I can do what I want to have done at 100%, because I know how it works, that's great. But I'm trading time for money. Mm-hmm. If you're looking to scale, if I can hire someone that can do the job I want done, and they can do it at a 75% capacity, and I could trade them up to that, and then maybe that's their cap, or maybe they get better, then that's still good, because now I have that time freed up, and I could work on growing the business or on the business, not necessarily in the business.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? So the way that I do it with the offer that I have attached to the podcast, it's an offer where now basically 95% I'm not touching. And it's only because the last 5% is just the automation that we're just trying to tighten up. Yeah. So I have an outreach team that will 100% go after my dream client. Mm-hmm. Then I have the automation that gets them, basically to the podcast. Right. The application that gets all the information that we need. Mm-hmm. Then I have hosts that host the show. Got you. Right. They're trained on not only giving a guest an amazing experience, but then doing that transition and offering them the guesting packages that we have. Mm-hmm. And then they get transitioned to the closers, and then the closers close.
So let's talk about that now. What are guesting packages?
So the offer that I have is pod agency guesting services. So if you're a coach, consultant, entrepreneur, business owner, if you're just somebody that wants to get in front of more people, more stages, if you want more people to know about you, we offer podcast guesting packages. Now you can get on 12, 24, 36, 48 packages of shows, all virtual, and we always throw you bonuses, right? Gotcha. And then that way you're guaranteed to get on 3 or 4 podcasts every single month for 3, 4 months, 6 months, whatever package you have going on. But not only do we do that, because anybody can get you on shows, bro. Yeah. We specialize in making sure that we turn those podcast episodes into moats, and that you guaranteed to get your data.
Gotcha. What are a moat, so people know?
So a moat is something that you set up that basically traps and gathers information for you. It's kind of like you planting your flag. Yeah. And you're stamped here and there. So in the digital world or the online world, if you create, multiple moats like content, right? The content ages well over time. Right. So especially when it comes to podcasts, because I can discover a podcast from 4 years ago and it can still make an impact on me right now.
Yeah.
But if there's no call to action in our podcast, it's not that podcast is less valuable, but you're not fully optimizing your opportunity on that show. Mm-hmm. So as a guest, when you go on a podcast, what you want to do is make sure you have some type of keyword, some type of call to action, and have that call to action connected to a capture funnel, so you get that data, exchanges to value for the listener or the viewer, and then you have automations or a funnel on the back end that sends them where you want to send them. So in our case, we make sure that our clients not only are maximizing on the front end through the podcast appearances and giving a value, but email is captured, text is captured. We send them to a Facebook group, and the email has a nurture sequence, text has a nurture sequence, and then the Facebook group, if they're serving them on a weekly or if they're dropping information in there, the clients are getting served. The potential prospects are getting served. They're lukewarm to warm to hot. And then when our guest is ready to, product or service or masterclass, webinar, whatever it is, retreat, whatever it is, those people are ready because you've been nurturing them for, months, even years in some case. So now those moats consistently bring you data back into your CRM. Mm-hmm. Right? Because let's say this episode, somebody doesn't hear it till 11 months from now. Yeah. Right? If there's a call to action in it, which there will be, right?
Right.
Now that person 11 months from now can still get data. Me can still get data.
Right.
Now to make that a way that it doesn't create an adverse effect, you just want to make sure that your call to action is neutral.
Yeah.
Because what if your business changes in the next 12 months?
Yeah.
You could just change the value on the back end of that.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So
you may not. You say neutral, so someone who's like, what does that mean? What do you mean?
Okay, so let's say right now is a birthday. Yeah. They're like, yo, I got a birthday bundle. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And then let's say 12 months from now, it's not your birthday anymore. No, exactly, right? So you just want to say, hey, listen, Tony, I went crazy, and I don't even want to leave, which is real. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I want to give your audience like something of value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So listen, I just need you guys to text this number. Now I didn't say anything specific that was dated.
Yeah.
I just give a general value. Text this number to get some value. Now on the back end, what we do is, we teach our clients that. So then that way, that call to action always stay relevant. Mm-hmm. So if that client needs to change something, that's a quarterly something that might be more specific for the time, they could just change whatever's on the back end of that text.
Right.
And then whenever that new listener taps in, they're getting some relevant.
Sounds much better. Yeah, definitely. So another question too is when people are starting podcasts, because I've started to notice that now I'm getting like messages from people that are like, and they're kind of like repeat, right?
Okay.
So is that like a strategy where it's just like, just blast a bunch of people, or is there automation that's sending to these people? Because I keep getting like, hey, Tony, don't know if you saw my last message. Want to know if you want to come on podcast. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like with that, is that something that like you teach, or like should a beginner just blast a bunch of people to try to get them on their show? Or is that a not good quality strategy?
So I think that, if you're gonna do like a general, a mass kind of messaging situation, I think definitely what you want to do, if you're gonna do it, you probably want to make sure you grab something that might be relevant on that guest page.
Right.
So like if they're a 2 Comma Club award winner, if they got a nice dog, if they just got a car, they just got married, take whatever thing that looks like is relevant. Yeah. Use that. Say, hey, listen, man, I just saw you got married. That's amazing. And then your content's pretty fire. I like what you do. I'd love to have you a guest on the show.
Yeah.
Now, if you're just going for numbers, you know what I'm saying? If you're using it for lead generation, you're just like, yo, I just want as many of my dream clients as possible.
Yeah.
You can do a semi-mass situation, but you definitely want to change out the name. You definitely at least want to
not
have the person's name in there. Yeah. Hey, what up, Tony? As opposed to, hey, man, or, hey, yo, or fam, or whatever the case may be. The more authentic it's going to seem, the more that person that's receiving the message is going to receive it as authentic.
Yeah, one thing that I look at too when I get asked to be on people's show, and we can speak about this, is, like you said, it's not about views, because everyone has audience, they have traffic. The main thing that I look at is, what does their show look like?
Yeah, aesthetics.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, it doesn't have to be this, but it's like, I kind of look at it, for me personally, and someone watching, if I'm going to take the time out of my day to be on your show, I at least want a quality production.
Yeah, facts.
So at least the content would be good. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then there's probably ways, like you said, using like the studio you set up where you don't have to spend a lot of money, but you still just need to present yourself as professional.
Facts. I think you gotta have a decent backdrop. If you don't have a backdrop, cool. Just use one of the virtual presets, which is fine. Like they got a blurred preset, or they got a couple of
StreamYard you're talking about?
StreamYard, Zoom.
Okay.
Even on Riverside. You know, wherever you can get a virtual preset. If you want to go to the next level, you can get a virtual stage done, Fiverr. Like I have one on StreamYard. I had a graphic design team do mines. But basically, you can just get that. That's basically just like a color overlay with your logo, maybe the name of your show. You know, maybe a couple of palettes underneath the boxes, stuff like that. You know, if you have branding and colors, you can easily do that. Yeah. And that way, you kind of stand apart. Because normally when you go on these shows, it's just like just a window.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which is fine.
Right.
But it's like if you add a couple of different elements, it definitely makes you stand out. Another thing about Riverside that I like is because their post-production, they do a lot of like cleaning. So they'll fix your audio, they'll fix your video a little bit. And that doesn't happen like on StreamYard. It doesn't happen on Zoom. That's kind of like what helps them stand apart a little bit.
It does.
So like having that is good. You know, clean background, a virtual background, making sure that you got a good camera. And again, like camera, you can get a USB camera, you know, that you just plug in. It'll enhance the view. You can get a USB mic. It'll enhance the sound. You can get a USB light.
So when you say that too, because I noticed when I did the virtual podcast with Fladland, his camera was very clear.
Yeah.
What type of setup is that? Because it's virtual, but it almost looked like it was one of these DSLR cameras.
So he probably had an OBS setup.
Okay.
Because if you want to go to the next level, you can do an OBS. You know what I'm saying? And for those that are not familiar with OBS, you can just Google OBS software, and basically it's a software that allow you to have multiple plugins and it's really like a virtual production. So if you want to have like overlays, if you want to plug in different people from different platforms, if you want to stream on multiple platforms, if you want to have different broadcast, things set up, you can 100% do that with OBS. So OBS plugged into the camera will give you the look.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's probably what he has set up.
Yeah, I like that
or
too.
Something similar.
I had a nice webcam, but just seeing his, I was like, dang, he's kind of smashing, right?
That's how people feel when they come in the studio, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, I try. So what were some of the criteria that you would say a beginning podcaster needs before they can monetize? Because even I guess what I'm thinking now is like, you probably can't monetize with just one show, right?
Yeah, you can monetize with one show, bro.
With one show?
Yeah, you just need the digital product in a community.
Yeah.
So like, I got an academy, Podcaster Profits Academy.
Yeah.
So I teach podcasters how to monetize. So the first two, well, there's three, but the first two pieces of assets that we teach them is the digital product situation, and then also a paid community. Now, if they don't know what information that they want to package up, what I say to them is do your first or second episode first.
Yeah.
And then take something spicy from the episode.
Yeah.
Because you could take that and you could turn that like little segment into a digital product. Just take that transcript, right? You could download that transcript and then take that transcript and you can make a digital product out of that transcript. Now you're just repurposing an episode.
What are some of the softwares for transcribing? Because I've been looking for stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. So AudioType is a really good one.
AudioType? Okay.
AudioType. So what AudioType does is you take the source file and you just upload it, and it will transcribe the whole thing for you.
Oh, okay,
and then you take that transcription and then, Fiverr, Upwork, saying, whatever you want to do, whoever's going to put together the digital product, or even if you just want to use that, transcript for something else. But AudioType is really, really a good one. Otter, you know what I'm saying? You could connect Otter. Otter will transcribe the whole thing. People use Otter when they do Zoom too, right? So you can just use that plugin. So those are really great ones for audio. But you definitely want to have a digital product and have it pay. Now, listen, if you're someone that likes to take imperfect action, what I would say is you don't even have to have the products, just have the offers.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Because it could be a pre-sale. Hey, we're about to release, the Tune and Tony community is coming out on April 24th.
Right.
For those that are looking to get, the first access, click the link in the bio right now. You can be one of the first.
Yeah.
You can be, what do they call them when you like the first? They call them the founders.
Yeah.
You can be a founding member.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Right now. And now, if you actually have it on where they can purchase right now, that means you're getting money now, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what we teach in the academy, pre-sale strategies to get you going. Because the thing about podcasting is really built off of momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So like if your endorphins is high,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? You excited.
Exactly.
But people end up in podcast purgatory because they don't make bread.
Yeah.
And it's not as fun anymore
Yep.
because they want money at some point.
Right.
And then like if you're doing a show with a co-host, one of them is going to be discouraged, or all of a sudden it's going to be late and not show up. And then you carrying the whole show, and then you're like, yo, it's not even worth it. I'm not making no bread. I got to do everything.
Yeah.
He didn't, him and her didn't show up this week. Again, they're late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, you want to put yourself in a position to monetize without brand deals, sponsorships, a large audience, digital products, a paid community. They do that. Now, I did say, I do remember that I was like, I'm going to give like an example. So look at your paid community. Like, where would you like to go on a flight?
Let's just say I go visit you in LA.
Okay, boom, you're going to LA. Now you got two options. You can go first class or you can go economy.
Yeah.
So economy is how people experience your podcast right now. Right? Spotify, YouTube all day. I could log on whenever. I could listen whenever. That's economy. Everybody has that.
Yeah.
But the first class access, right? That's the paid community. What do you get? You might have a full bar menu. You can probably drink, get a pillow, headphones.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You get the eye mask.
You good?
I got crazy. You get the eye mask. You might meet the captain.
Yeah.
The flight attendant is talking to you different.
Yeah.
You're gonna get on a plane. You're gonna get on a plane first. You're gonna leave the plane first, and you probably might make money because normally people that sit in first class, it's an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. So that's what the paid community is. It's not for everyone, as you know. There's not a lot of first class seats. There might be 12.
Right.
But it's for the ones that are engaged. It's the ones that understand that money's just hope money. I can pay this bread. I'm gonna make it back. You know what I'm saying? I might spend $1,000 for the ticket, sit next to like Mike the businessman or my man Eugene, and then we run a play. We just came up. I didn't spend that $1,000. I invested it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what the paid community is. So if you get 50 viewers or 100 viewers or listen to whatever the case may be, you only need the ones that want to be there. Maybe it's 10. Right? You monetize them $99. That's $1,000 a month. You just pay for your Tesla and your insurance, or half of your, rent or a portion of your mortgage.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Another
10
thing,
people.
Another thing I'm thinking about what you just said too with Spotify and stuff, like we're so focused on video. Are we sleep by not having our episodes just on the syndications?
You should do that too.
Yeah, just to be omnipresent.
Yeah, to be omnipresent. And right now, if podcasters are not doing this, if your podcast is on a YouTube playlist right now, you need to move it over to YouTube podcast playlist.
I've never heard of that.
So YouTube I don't know if you heard, but like I think August 2023, August 2022, YouTube invested in podcasting. So you know how they have the YouTube platform, they got YouTube Shorts, they got YouTube Podcasts now. So now they're officially in a podcast space because podcasts are already on YouTube.
Right.
So what they did was they created a section on YouTube platform for podcasts.
Yeah.
Right. So now all your videos, you should put them in that designated playlist. It's literally the same, but it's just a playlist that's earmarked for podcasts.
Definitely need to check that out.
Yeah, so all you do is just move it over. So everything that you have in your whatever your playlist is right now, you just unselect it and then reselect it into the podcast playlist. And now it's gonna look the same on YouTube, but it's in the right designation now.
Gotcha.
Now moving forward, everything that you do, you're gonna be rewarded because now you're in where they want you to be as a podcaster.
Right.
So they have a section for both the audio side and the video side, but the audio side right now is not connected to a RSS feed. But once they do that, it's gonna go crazy because you're not gonna need Buzzsprout no more or Podbean or Simplecast. You're gonna put all your stuff on YouTube, the audio and the visual,
So no
and they're gonna blast that out.
FM.
You're not gonna need that no more. They're gonna go crazy, bro.
That's
they're just
crazy.
setting it up.
So it's
right
not even
now,
fully out yet.
well, it's the RSS feed isn't pushing.
Yeah.
But you can get your stuff on there.
Gotcha.
Because right now people have audio and video podcasts on YouTube.
Right.
And before it was just on there. Now they spent a bag to really position that platform because they want to take that space.
Gotcha.
Because they already know people are already on YouTube.
Yeah.
So now, okay, cool. We want the views. Stay over here.
Gotcha.
Right? So why would you even need to put your stuff on the audio when you could literally have it all on YouTube, the audio and the video?
Makes complete sense.
Crazy, bro.
I'm about to go check it out after the podcast.
Yeah, you should. 100%.
So just to like cover everything, we talked about community first.
Yeah.
Right. So anyone starting, focus on community. Question I have for that is, what do they build the community on? Is it Facebook groups? Is it Mighty Network? Like, what is it?
That's a great question. So yeah, you can do definitely Facebook group. You can do Mighty Network. You can do Circle. You can do School. Shout out to Sam Ovens. There's a lot of different things you can do. you can literally use just a messenger app in Zoom.
Yeah.
So you definitely want to have a platform that you can message and a platform where they can conjugate virtually. You know what I'm saying? And then have a way that you can do like a virtual live.
Where's Patreon live in this? Because I always see YouTubers talk about Patreon.
So I personally don't have a problem with Patreon, but I don't use Patreon at the moment.
Yeah.
Because Patreon almost has that Walmart effect where like when you think about Walmart, what you think about?
They just got everything, a lot of different energies.
More simple than that.
Low class.
What's it? There you go.
Yeah.
So on Patreon, typically products are $5, $7, $8, $9, $12, $20.
Low ticket psychology with them. That's what they're
100%. And there's nothing wrong with having that.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now that you could charge people $39, $49, $99 a month in a paid community to get more access than what you're currently putting out. And they're paying for that.
This more access?
Bro, David Shands is making...
Oh, like that. Yeah, like the morning
David
meetup.
He's making what, $32,000 a month? More than that?
Dang,
It might be... Hold on. Let's do the math real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So last time I checked...
Yeah.
Last time that I checked... okay, boom. Morning meetup is $79. Last time I checked, he had 400 people in it. It might be more than that. So yeah, $31,600 a month, 400 people at $79. If you multiply that by 12, my man's making $380,000 a year just off of the community part. We're not talking about live events, not talking about digital products, not talking about coaching, not talking about mentorship, none of that. Just on that one thing. Not even talking about the YouTube streams that he's making. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about that. That's why podcast is like real estate. It's hella vast. You can make money a bunch of ways.
That's why he wake up at 8 a.m. every day.
Listen, I'm trying to tell you. So if you're making $30,000 a month just off a subscription,
right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's why you need a paid community. I'm telling podcasters this. You need a paid community. If you don't have that, you're leaving money on the table.
Yeah.
Even if you have 10 people, bro, like get your condo paid. There's absolutely no reason. One person at a time.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a grind. I'm not going to say, hey, bro, you're going to have 30,000 a month like David Shands this year. But he put in the work.
Right.
So what you need to do is just continue to build your brand awareness, get in front of more people, right? Other people's podcasts, other people's stages, other people's audiences, give value and give them a reason to want to tap in.
Facts. So community, nailed that.
Yep.
The next thing we talked about is don't be scared to not start because you don't have equipment when you could go virtual.
Go virtual.
StreamYard.
Definitely.
What was the other ones?
Riverside FM.
Yep. If you need to build a studio, like a virtual studio, you can go to Fiverr.
Yep. OBS.
How much is that going to cost?
I mean, you can get a virtual studio like $50, bro.
$50.
Yeah.
Easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
The next thing we talked about too is just actually putting the effort into making your show real.
Yeah. You want to do at least, I say 50 shows.
Yeah.
Just 50 shows under your belt. You know what I'm saying? And don't feel like you got to do a show every day. Just, batch record. Do like 2-3 shows, maybe once a week or, Saturday and Sunday, whatever works in your schedule, just batch it out. But I'm going to tell you right now, you're already wasting time talking to your friends. So if you can spend 30 minutes to an hour just talking to your friends randomly during the day about nothing, then you can podcast pretty much every day or every other day.
Makes 100% sense.
Digital products, 100%. VIP packages, which is something else that I teach. The reverse guesting, the pod close.
What's reverse guesting?
I'm sorry, reverse pitching. Oh. So reverse pitching is a strategy that you use almost like the podcast close, where you're monetizing your clients, but you're not monetizing them through coming on the show. They're not paying to come on the show.
Yeah.
You're just offering them another product of value. Gotcha. That's basically how the pod close essentially works.
Makes sense.
And then we didn't touch on like turning your podcast into a media business, which podcasts 100% need to do.
Well, so let's break that down a little bit.
So the media business play is, you have to understand, as soon as you touch the mic and record digital content, it's your business.
Right.
100%. So what you need to do is now just take it that next step. Right? File your LLC, your EIN, you know what I'm saying? Get your business structured, apply for business credit, clean up your personal credit so you can get business credit, have everything in order.
Yeah.
And now your podcast is actually not a side hustle. It's not a hobby. It's not something that you do sometimes. It's a legit media business.
Yeah.
And now, as that, you know what you could do? You can even build your networks over crazy, because if you're someone that really like hosting, you can be your on-location correspondent.
True.
Because you got the credentials.
Yeah.
What if there's an R&B show pull up, a comedy show to pull up?
You're right.
A sporting event pull up. Guess what? You can actually apply to be in the green room.
You're right.
Because you're official media business.
I didn't even think about it that
Bro,
way.
we going crazy right now.
I'm about to be at Beyonce concert.
Listen,
on the
everywhere.
floor.
Bro, listen, in those opportunities begets those opportunities. So if you get one or two and you create, the testimonials, the review content, they're going to want you at the next ones.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? And if you're in this entrepreneur space that we're in, coaches and consultants, you can be at all of those events, don't have to pay for them. You know what I'm saying? Get the free mastermind, get the content.
Yeah.
They're going to want you there.
Crazy network.
You know what I'm saying?
Play in so
You
many
are a
different ways.
media business, so you need to take advantage of that. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
I mean, Mike went crazy talking about like the things you can do with business credit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can now like, let's say whatever space you're in. Let's say because Mike was on here, last week, whatever. Let's say Mike starts a podcast, mobile podcast, talking about cars or whatever, just expanding. I just want to let people know more about what they can do with these cars. Brand new LLC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Brand new business credit.
Mm-hmm.
Brand new leverage, brand new capital.
Right.
Every business could have a media business.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just promotions. It's just marketing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's actually gonna bring. It's free. It's really your free marketing ticket.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So not only are you paying for, ads or whatever. Now you actually have your own in-house studio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then you can put ads on that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It could just go crazy, bro.
Crazy. Yeah. Man, so talked about so much, right? Someone's definitely like, oh my gosh, I need to start my podcast. Don't know where to start. How do they tap in and learn more from you after this podcast?
So listen, we talked about this earlier, right?
Yeah.
So look, I have something very special for you guys. And what I really want you to do is just text 213-410-4920. I'm going to tell you because this is going to still be relevant because I have a mission to help 38 podcasters make $1,320, which whether you have a product or not, you'll be able to do this. I have a 100K podcast program completely for free. It's a full training. I'm going to train you. I'm going to train you for 30 days on your mindset. And I'm going to give you all of the podcast plays so you can monetize your show, or you can work with me, or you can just become a certified affiliate and just offer the guesting to your guests on your own podcast. I'm gonna give you the marketing plays. I'm gonna give you the podcast ads.
Yeah.
You just do your regular show and then just mention the product in there, and we make money together.
Got you. So you'll give them the ads to just plug in.
Plug in.
Got you.
Video assets, audio assets. We'll give you the script if you're someone that likes to do like live reads. We'll make it easy for you, bro.
Dang.
And we'll train you
Dang.
for free.
For free?
For free.
Let's break that down. So
Yeah.
if someone texts this number, what's the number?
213-410-4920. Text the word 100K,
Yeah.
and then we're gonna set you up.
And you're going to teach them for free.
I'm gonna give. First of all, I gotta indoctrinate you because listen, you might not believe it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna spend 30 days believing it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta reprogram your situation.
Right.
Then we're gonna give you the whole monetization play.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna teach you about the pod close. I'm gonna teach you about digital products. I'm gonna teach you about affiliate marketing and then some other things. Go through this.
Yeah.
You got options.
Right.
You could work with me and my team. Join the academy.
Right.
It's not a requirement. It's up to you.
Right.
You can run the plays 100% by yourself. Or you can become a certified affiliate marketer, right? Market our podcast guesting services. Run your podcast with no product like you was doing currently, the exact same thing. But I'm giving you something to offer. And then you'll make 5 to 7% on everything that we close. You don't got to sell nothing. We'll send you checks.
Dang. I like that.
Yeah.
So just text the number. What's the number one more time?
213-410-4920. Text the word 100K if you're a podcaster and you want to monetize. Maybe you're a brand new podcaster and you're like, yo, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Like Tony inspired me. Brendan inspired me. This is something I've been wanting to do. Maybe you want to do it with your mom. Maybe you are a mom.
Yeah.
And you're like, yo, I just need something to do at the crib.
Right.
I want to talk about gardening. Because
Yeah.
with podcasts, it's so vast. You could talk about anything.
Yeah.
But you know what? You don't want to just do it in vain and not make no bread. Let me teach you some ways of how you can get to the bag, the pod bag. You know what I'm saying? And we can light it up.
Dope. And how do they follow you? Like, what's your IG handle?
On all social media platforms, it's at ITS Brendan Boyd. That's ITSBRENDANBOYD. Listen, I suggest go to YouTube first.
Yeah.
Because there's hella podcast gyms on there.
Yeah.
So just go to YouTube first, subscribe, jump into the pod playlist on my page. Hella ways to monetize, hella ways just to level you up in podcasts specifically. So I will 100% do that.
One last gem for the people.
Man, one last gem. Take imperfect action. Level up the people in your space. If you can't do that, then I would physically move to a new city.
Right.
Or I would just create more time alone and I would study YouTube University. I would read a book 20 minutes a day. You know what I'm saying? I would do an audio book in the car instead of the music. You know what I'm saying? And if the one that you're sleeping with is not someone that supports your dreams, I might consider getting out of that situation.
Hey, that's a big one right there.
Yeah.
Y'all heard the man. It's my guy, Brendan Boyd. Make sure y'all check in. Text the phone number. Everything's going to be down in the description. Follow my guy. We'll see y'all in the next episode.
Listen, man, make sure you guys are subscribing to this podcast. Share this podcast, this episode out right now. This dude got one of the best podcasts that's on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed to it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Hey, like, share, and subscribe. We'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.